January 2025. January 20th, 2025. The day that Donald Trump took office, once again as President of the United States, is the day that we as Americans should be setting aside to remember a great American named Martin Luther King. We know that the MAGA, they hate him. They hate everything about what he represents, which was equality, fair treatment under the law. And instead, his memory has been usurped by the very man that these people would celebrate if he pulled the trigger against Martin Luther King. And that man, of course, is Donald Trump. He has been inaugurated as the new president of the United States. But he isn't there to make our country better, greater, stronger. He's not there to lower prices on essential goods or gasoline, as many of his supporters say that he will. No, he's not going to do any of that. What he will do is that he's going to go in for revenge. That's all he's obsessed with. Revenge. Revenge for what, you may ask? Obviously, revenge because he was rejected 4 years ago at the polls. Revenge for the fact that he was being held accountable for the things that he himself has done, either in his private life or as President of the United States. January 6th and the classified documents, just to name two. But the real danger to all of this is that Donald Trump is the man who will end the United States of America. Because the following things are going to happen in short order. Constitutional freedom will be neutered, destroyed by a man who can't grasp the fact that we have constitutional freedoms. When it comes to the presidency, a redress of grievances. And Donald Trump still hasn't grasped the idea that we do not work for him. He, as President of the United States, as an elected president, he has not gotten through his head that he works for us, not the other way around. Constitutional freedom will be destroyed. I fully expect us to be at war within the next year. If not with another nation, then a war inside this nation, because Donald Trump, and it's a war that Donald Trump himself will start. A war because Donald Trump has not grasped the fact that we don't work for him. We don't work for the government. The government is supposed to work for us. But he will start a civil war because he has not gotten through his head that this is a country for the people, by the people, and of the people. He still wants to treat this country, our government, like his personal company. It's not. And a lot of innocent lives are going to be lost because of it. And if it's a war from the outside, it will probably be against one of our allies. He's already said that he wants to use military force against Canada and Greenland. He's already got a Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who, under Donald Trump's orders, will treat the United States military as his own personal Gestapo, sending the military onto American streets. The fact is, Donald Trump will be the end of America. Despite me saying that he's not going to last for the full 4 years, and I really don't think he's going to. Either he's going to croak, unfortunately, Now, I'm not a vindictive person. I don't want anything to happen to the president of the United States, even if it's a scumbag like Trump. But the fact is, he's not going to make it all 4 years. His health is terrible, physically and especially mentally. The 25th Amendment is going to be passed when it comes to Trump, and J.D. Vance will finish what Project 2025 is. And that is the biggest case of it all. When it comes to Donald Trump and his supporters, they have all shown me, and they have shown you, that they are not beyond killing or hurting people in this country in his name. In the last few months, and I did a video about this earlier this year, in the last few months, I have gotten so much crap from people, from Donald Trump supporters on Twitter, posting fake photos of me, actually downloading videos I've made on my Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok pages and superimposing them with some of the most racist things that you have ever heard and trying to pass it off like it's me saying them. And I fully expect this harassment, and yes, it is harassment, to go on for the next 4 years under Trump, because one of those people said they feel emboldened by the election of Donald Trump. They feel emboldened to harass people because Donald Trump is the president of the United States. They feel emboldened to put lives at risk for Donald Trump. This is what we're facing in the next 4 years. A possibility of another world war. Possibly because of possibly with our allies that Donald Trump will start. The possibility of another pandemic because he has Robert Kennedy Jr., a man who knows nothing about vaccines, who knows nothing about about healthcare, will get us into another situation where millions of Americans will die. You know, the sad part about this whole thing is that all of it could have been avoided. All of it could have been stopped. But because people just didn't want a black woman, Kamala Harris, as President of the United States, because of that racist reason, we have a madman as President of the United States now. A man who's already made clear that he will burn this country to cinders if he doesn't get what he wants. Who's already made clear that he doesn't care about America or its history. Whose followers obviously don't care if this country burns, as long as it's Donald Trump holding the match. And frankly, and I don't want to sound morbid or paranoid or anything, but I don't expect to live past these 4 years. I fully expect to be arrested because I make videos like this. Not because I commit a crime. Not because I'm a threat to anyone. Because obviously I'm not, honestly. But because I don't support Donald Trump, that's the reason for them coming after me. And again, I'm not being paranoid or anything else. I'm telling you what Donald Trump supporters and Donald Trump himself has said. I know there's a chance that I really wish I didn't have to say it. But Donald Trump supporters all over Twitter have, as I said earlier, have posted about me. What makes you think that someone's not going to take those posts seriously? and start to think about killing me. What makes you think they're not going to do that? It's Pizzagate all over again. The lie that Hillary Clinton was holding children hostage or whatever else as sex slaves. And next thing you know, someone with a gun shows up. And again, I'm not being paranoid. I'm going by the history. You see, Donald Trump supporters, we need to watch our backs. Plain and simple. I'm not saying walk around this country paranoid. Whenever you see someone wearing the red hat, the MAGA hat across their heads, which may as well be 666, the number of the beast. I'm not saying be paranoid. I'm saying be vigilant. Already, Donald Trump himself and his borders are planning massive ICE raids of people who are in this country illegally. But honestly, I think they're going to come after anyone who doesn't look white, who may not be an American, naturally born American citizen, but I don't think it's going to make any kind of difference if we are or not. Because Donald Trump and his border czar have made it clear that they're going to come after us. And that includes me, a man born in the USA, spent most of his life here, a son of a United States Army soldier. They probably might come after me just because I'm black, because I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. And I hate saying those things because we shouldn't be saying those things here in 2025 after everything Martin Luther King went through. But it doesn't matter anymore, because the Donald Trump supporters, and Donald Trump supporters have said this to me, they are emboldened to be as racist as they are, to be as monstrous as they are. Well, you're not going to do it to me. And you're not going to do it to my family, and you're not going to do it to friends of mine who happen to be of color or LGBTQ or anyone else. Donald Trump thinks he thinks he's God. And his supporters are treating him like they think he's God. I won't. And I never will. So you Trump supporters want to bow down to Trump. That's on you. Me personally, I know who the real, true God is. And his name is not Donald Trump. And he does not look anything like Donald Trump. I know who my savior is. It's just too bad that you and the MAGA sold your souls to a man who you think is a savior. That's between you and your savior, Donald Trump. And when you meet the real savior, I hope you have a good explanation for it. It's just too bad that you sold your souls, and you sold our country to Trump. All because you thought eggs were too expensive. And he's already made it clear he's not going to do a thing about them. Because you thought gas was too expensive. And you already see that he's not going to do a thing about them. I've chosen my side. It's the side of America. The side of the United States of America. The side of the stars and stripes. To illustrate that point, before I close out this video, there's a quote from Ulysses S. Grant, former president of the United States and former military officer. Now, forgive me if I don't remember this completely, but he said something along the lines of, whatever my sentiments in the past, I have one point I need to make clear, that we have a flag and a constitution that need to be sustained. There are two parties now, traitors and Americans. I wish to be numbered with the latter, and I trust the stronger party. Right now, in this country, there are two parties. Traitors, as in the MAGA, because you betrayed this country to Trump, and Americans who still believe in what our country is, what millions of people, generations in this nation who have sacrificed life, liberty, and property for what this country is supposed to be. People like who Martin Luther King sacrificed for. For me, I trust the latter party, the Americans. I'm going to continue to speak out against Donald Trump when he fucks up, when one of his supporters screw up. And I know all you MAGA, you guys want us all gone, you want us all dead. Don't do it. Don't. It's bad enough you do what you do, because I'm going to expose every single one of the people who lie on me. I'm going to do everything I can to disrupt their lives, in their employment, everything. You decided to lie about us because you're so loyal to Donald Trump. Now you're going to face the consequences. That old expression, F around and find out. You people F'd around. Now it's time for you to find out. To our soldiers, sailors, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, Airmen, Space Guardians, Guard and Reserves, remember your oath. Your oath is to the Constitution of the United States of America, not to Donald Trump. He may be the commander-in-chief, but you need to remember that you swore an oath to uphold the principles of this nation. And Donald Trump will, not if, not maybe, will violate those principles. If he does, you have the moral and legal authority to refuse such an order. To my law enforcement brethren, to those who risk their lives day in and day out on the streets, remember, your loyalty is to the law and to the badge and the people in the communities that you serve, not to Donald Trump. The Fraternal Order of Police may have given their loyalty to them, but your loyalty should be to your communities, to your cities, to your states, to your country. Don't violate those loyalties. Not for Donald Trump. He is not worth it. And to you, to the MAGA, we know that you're going to go crazy out there. Starting after Donald Trump's inauguration, we know that you're going to harass us and everything else. Stop and don't. Because the minute you do, your lives are forfeit. And I don't mean the K word. I mean everything about you is forfeit. Your name's destroyed, your reputation's eliminated, all for the sake of Donald Trump. He's not worth it. And if you do cross that line, then the lesson will be learned and you won't like it. And to Donald Trump himself, my message to you, don't fuck it up. You fucked up the first time and millions of Americans died because of you. You fuck up this time, you'll be spending whatever's left of that life of yours behind bars. Your supporters fucked around, and now they're going to find out the hard way. You don't want to do that. Don't test us. Don't test the American people. We're stronger than you, and there is a hell of a lot more of us real Americans than those idiots you call the MAGA. Fuck around and find out, Trump. You won't like the result. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.